Hello everyone, my name is Keshav, and today in this video I will be talking about the Azure Sentinel as well as about the Azure Log Analytics and how to configure the Azure Sentinel configuration. So I will be actually covering this topic from the uh, Microsoft SC200 exam point of view. There is one particular topic related to the Azure Sentinel configuration. Uh, I'm hoping that there will be around a few questions from this topic. So in this topic, I will talk about what is Sentinel, what is SIM, what is SOAR, and how to configure the Log Analytics Workspace and how the Log Analytics Workspace is related with the Azure Sentinel and how to set up the Sentinel Workspace. So let's start our session with a quick introduction to Azure Sentinel. So today we will talk about Azure Sentinel and log analytics. So before we jump into the Sentinel, we will talk about some important concept like SIEM. So it's called Security Information and Event Management. If you are from the Security Operations Center domain, SOC domain, then I'm sure you know about the SIM. So SIM is a like a detection technology, a detection technology where we can raise an incident for any kind of threats or any kind of vulnerability. Here we will be collecting the data, real-time data, processing the data, and if we identify any kind of threat, then we can raise an incident. Then incident can be assigned to the appropriate person. He can do the investigation on the incident, and then he can take actions based on the information we have into the incident. So SIM solution in general provides the monitoring as well as the detection logic as well as the alerting. So alerting can be in any form like incident form or a ticket form, and then we can perform the further action. Now there is another topic called SOAR. So that's called security orchestration, automation and response. So this is also very much similar to the SIM. Only thing is like here we can raise the incident and we can inbuilt a automation. So for example, if we identify an incident, then we can associate our automation so that we can take corrective action with the help of the automation. So for like if we talk about the automation, then it can be done by any Azure services like Azure Logic Apps or Azure Function or Azure Automation. So those things can be built into the Azure Sentinel. So what SOAR does it? It provides threat and vulnerability management similar to the SIM. It can help us with the security incident response similar to the SIM. Only difference is it provides security operations automation. Okay, and one more topic that's called Security Operations Center. So it's a team that's deal with the continuously monitoring of the infrastructure, identifying, preventing, detecting, and responding to the cybersecurity incidents. So whatever the incidents which are raised from the cybersecurity point of view, this SOC team takes an action on it. So let's jump to the important factor. So Azure Sentinel, it's a very important topic from the SC 200 exam point of view. I'm guessing there will be good amount of questions, but yeah, let's start. So Azure Sentinel is something. First of all, it's a cloud-based SIEM tool that can help us in collecting the data, detecting the threat. We can do the investigation because good amount of information will be associated with the incident that we are raising with the help of the Azure Sentinel, and then we can do the automation. So, with the help of the Azure Sentinel, we can get insight into our infrastructure by collecting the data and by analyzing it. And based on the collected data, there are a lot of machine learning things which are there into the machine learning logics which are there into the Azure Sentinel. So, with the help of those, we can raise an incident, we can take a lot of corrective a- actions, we can do the proactive hunting, lot of options are there. This also provides the automation. So as I said, Sentinel is a cloud native SIEM solution that can do both SIEM and the SOAR, security incident event management and security orchestration, automation and response. Uh, it has everything for the SOC. What the SOC team needs, it provides everything. Can help us with the alert detection, can help us with the threat visibility, do the proactive hunting of the threats, and if there is any kind of threat, we can do the automation and response to it. So in general, Azure Sentinel is a central place where we can collect and analyze the security data. The infrastructure complexity will be less as compared to the other traditional SIEM tool because this tool is hosted in the cloud and you don't have to spend time in managing it. Everything will be managed by the Microsoft, by their Azure team because it's in a cloud. So you just have to pay for whatever you are using it. So now, why like people talking about this Azure Sentinel? So before we discuss that particular topic, let's talk about what are the challenges with the existing SIM and the SOAR tools. So most of the SIM and the SOAR tools are still the on-premises based. So they may have released a lot of cloud-based connectors to it, but they still are on premises. So when it's on the end on premises, obviously it becomes a little bit costly to operate and little bit slow to scale. Uh, it's a very heavy infrastructure, right? For configuring the on-premises SIM tool, you need machines, you need a server, you need a database, and then you need a big amount of team that is only responsible for managing the health of the SIM tool, which is hosted in the on-premises, the traditional SIM tools. Uh, when it comes to the digital transformation, these tools uh, are not that advanced that can quickly adapt to the digital transformation. So sometimes it becomes an obstacle to digital transformation, and sometimes they also have a alert fatigue. Like if there is a flood of the alerts, then these tools may break down, uh, and they are not easy to integrate it with the modern day automation tools. Now, why Sentinel is in demand? So, in the last slide, we talked about the challenges with the existing SIM tool. Now, we are talking about why Azure Sentinel is in demand. So, here you don't have to spend time in configuring the infrastructure. Obviously, there will be little bit of time that you have to spend in configuring the Azure Sentinel workspace and the log analytics workspace. But as compared to the on-premises thing, you don't have to configure a lot. So you don't have to actually pay for the overall infrastructure. You have to pay for the amount of data that you are inserting into the scheme, and there will be little bit some charges as per the other services that you might be using. So here we don't have any licensing cost. We have pay whatever we are using it. We don't have to spend time in managing the infrastructure. We don't need a big team to manage the same infrastructure because it's in a cloud, so it can be easily managed by the Microsoft. And for anything, you can contact Microsoft by any means. You don't have to install any servers or anything that we need into the on-premises server. And is Azure Sentinel can collect the data from third-party cloud as well, like from the AWS, from the Google Cloud. You can develop your own connectors that can collect the data, and it provides a lot of good options. Whatever the all the legacy SIM tool provides, everything is provided by the Azure Sentinel as well. So, okay, now we were talking about the Azure Sentinel, and now I'm talking about the Azure Log Analytics. So, I will first introduce what is the Azure Log Analytics. We will see how to configure it because there is a big relation between the Azure Sentinel and the Azure Log Analytics. So, whatever the data that we are storing into the Sentinel, whatever the telemetry that we are sending into the Sentinel, is actually stored into the Log Analytics workspace. So it's quite important to understand what exactly is the log analytics so that we can easily correlate the things. So as I said, Azure Sentinel is built upon the highly scalable, high performance Azure Monitor log analytics platform. So Azure Log Analytics is a part of the Azure Monitor, and it is actually used for doing the monitoring. It can help in collecting the telemetry from the Azure resources, or from the on-premises resources, or from the resources hosted in the third-party cloud as well. This has tendency to collect the telemetry, and with the help of its solutions and other things, it will provide you the monitoring options. So you can monitor the health of the infrastructure, performance of the infrastructure. You can raise incidents, you can raise the tickets, alerts, and you can do the advisory as well. It provides you advisory uh, based on the data it collected, like assessment it can do for your infrastructure. So it can do a lot of things from the monitoring point of view. So let's configure the log analytics workspace. So to configure the Azure Log Analytics workspace, what you have to do is in the search options, uh, go to the search box or type log analytics. So this will be the Azure Log Analytics. You can do it from here also, create a resource, and from here you can say log analytics. So let's do the log analytics workspace, and let's click on the create button. So I will configure one Azure resource. So for now, I will create a new resource group. SC200 is my resource group, and I will name my log analytics workspace as a SC200. Wow, it's available. So yeah, uh, I will be deploying it into the East US region, and uh, let's go to the pricing tier. So in pricing tier, we don't have much of the options. It just provide you one options. If you have a subscription that's from very old time, uh, then it may give you some other options. But in nutshell, right now it is based on the pay as you go. So whatever the data you are inserting, you have to pay for it. Price happens based on the per GB. You can review these all URL. What is the pricing model? How much you need to pay, and you can like read about it. It provides you some reservations option also. If you reserve the particular space, then it may cost you not that much. It may cost you, I mean, you can get a lot of offers from the Microsoft if you reserve the space. Tags, I'm leaving it. Simply let's create the log analytics workspace. Some validation failed. Let's see where it failed. Okay. So my actually the subscription is disabled. So just allow me a minute. Let me switch to my other subscription. I have a couple of more subscriptions, so I will. Okay. So we will go to the log analytics workspace, and we will create a new resource group. SC200 is my resource group, and create a new SC200. I will create. I'll name it as a, and I will deploy it into the East US thing. Let's go to the pay as you go model. And let's click on the. So this deployment hardly take 1 or 2 minutes. It's quite easy to configure the log analytics workspace. If you are configuring it from the for the real-time monitoring based, or I mean it's a requirement of your customer or a client or your project requirement, then it is advisable to read about the pricing tiers. Do take a decision what would be the best location for you, because it all depends where exactly your resources are located. If your resources are in Europe, then try to deploy it into the Europe region. If it's in a US, you can deploy it into the US also. Lot of things are under consideration, but couple of important things is pricing as well as the location. So let's jump to the log analytics workspace. So this is the log analytics workspace that we quickly created. So this is again, I would say log analytics is a monitoring platform that can help us in collecting the telemetry from the Azure resources as well as from the resources hosted into the third-party clouds as well. It has a lot of solutions that can provide you monitoring logic. Solutions can help you in projecting the data over the dashboard and lot of other options. But from the Sentinel point of view, I will be covering the log analytics things from the Sentinel point of view. So I'll talk about few important concepts and then we will jump to creating the Azure Sentinel workspace. So once your log analytics workspace is ready, here you can see the name of your workspace. Here you will get other details. Couple of important details is you remember your workspace ID. It's quite important to know to which subscription it is hosted. You can find it here, and lot of advanced things are also there. Access control mode. It's a workspace based permission thing. So we will see. Yeah. So now very important thing is this is a workspace. Okay. And as I said, this can help you in collecting the telemetry data. So how agents, like if you are doing the monitoring of the machines, then you have to deploy a agent on the machines from where you want to do the monitoring. Once the agent is deployed, the machines will start sending out the data to your log analytics workspace. So let's first do it for the machines that are not hosted into the Azure. So let's consider we have a lot of machines in our non-Azure environment. So what you have to do is you just have to download the agent from here. This will download the agent. Once agent is downloaded, you can deploy this agent uh, to the machines where you want to do the monitoring. So what you have to do is just deploy this one and initiate the installer. So I will just initiate the installer. Uh, so it's just doing the initialization, then terms and agreements. Let's agree on it. And it's already deployed on my machine, so I'm just getting the upgrade option. But if you are just doing it for the very first time, what option you will get is it will ask you to provide the workspace ID and the primary key. So you can copy these both from here, workspace ID and the primary key, and once you provided this one, it will do the installation and then your machines will start sending out the data. So once it is configured, you will see something in the control panel under this Microsoft and monitoring agent. Under this Microsoft and monitoring agent, under this log analytics, you will see things that your machine is sending out the data. So from here you can see workspace ID to which it is sending out the data. Right now I'm having some trouble related to the DNS, so I'll leave it. This is some advanced troubleshooting, but do it this way. Let's let this upgrade happen. And if you if you want to add your one more workspace where you want to send out the data, then you can click on add button and it can send you to data to the another workspace as well. So let's copy this workspace ID and post it here, and let's configure this primary key. So it can also start sending out data to another workspace. So I will just click on apply button. From here you can view to which all workspace it's sending out the data, and then yeah. So this way, my machine will start sending out the data to the log analytics workspace. So you just have to deploy this agent based on your infrastructure. It can be 32-bit, it can be 64-bit. So you can deploy the log analytics workspace. Important piece is this workspace keys, primary key as well as the workspace ID. The same thing can be done on the Linux machines as well. You just have to run this particular command. Uh, this wget will download the things for you. Wget will download the things for you. like it will download the agent and then it will do the configuration, and it will automatically, once you run this particular command line, it will uh, configure the Linux agent so that your Linux machines can send out the data to the log analytics workspace. So, okay, let me once again show you how it looks on the Windows machines. We just mark our workspace to report to two particular location. So, okay, right now it is just doing it to one location. Let me add it one more time. So, here is the workspace ID. Here is the workspace key. It will be sending out the data. Once the connection happens, the state will be determined, and then my machine can send out the data. So we talked about the on-premises machines. Let's talk about how our machines which are hosted in the Azure can send out the data. So to connect the machines which is hosted into the Azure, what you have to go to is, like, under the workspace data source, go to the virtual machines. So here in the virtual machines, you will see the list of the machines which are actually sending out the data, like machines which can be which can send out the data to the log analytics. So right now all of my machines are sending out the data to the other workspace, so we are seeing these options. Otherwise you will see one option, you will see here, you get one button that's called connect. So you just have to go here and click on this particular connect button, and then your machines, as your machine, will start sending out the data to your log analytics workspace. So that's important thing. Another one is how other resources can send out the data. So for other resources, what you have to do is you have to enable the diagnostic setting on the machine. So in any of the resources, for example, let's choose Azure Active Directory. Most of the Azure resources have this option that's called diagnostic setting. So what you have to do is click on this add button, add diagnostic setting. Just name anything. So SC200 preparation. This is just a naming convention. You can write anything, it's not going to impact your configuration. So what all logs you want to send out, select every kind of log that can be sent out to the log analytics workspace. So from here we have to select our log analytics workspace where we want to send out the data. So we are sending out the data to our log analytics workspace, and then just save this thing. So it will start, this resource will start, as our Active Directory will start sending out the data to our log analytics workspace. Let's pick up any other resource. So let's pick up some key vault. Let's see if key vaults can send out the data. So even the key vault have this all diagnostic setting. So most of the resources will have this diagnostic setting. You just have to enable the monitoring. So go to this one, click on add diagnostic setting, name anything, uh, SC200 demo. So yeah, select the subscription where you want to send out the data. So this one is the subscription which can do this one. So this way, this diagnostic setting option is quite important. Uh, this option will be later used into the Azure Sentinel as well. So yeah, let's see if any other resources. Let's see if Logic Apps provide the diagnostic setting. Yes, it does provide. So we will again enable it. So here we have not enabled anything so far. I will click on add diagnostic setting, and then it will, you can put any name, what kind of logs, these two logs I want. So this is done. Okay, so now all the resource can send out the data. Now I talked about the solution, so you can add any monitoring solution from the workspace. Here you can click on add and then find out solutions. A lot of solutions are available here. You have to find out what all kind of solutions are there, so you can go it into the this particular monitoring and dashboards, and from here you can choose the solution. So click on see more. We have this container monitoring. Lot of solutions are there actually, so I'll show you one solution, this container monitoring. Although we have not configured any container, but this can be configured here. Just have to provide the name of the log analytics workspace, this one, and click on create. Then it will deploy the solutions. uh, Other option is about the you can view all the solutions from here. For costing of the log analytics, you can do the costing from users and estimated. This can give you a lot of example. uh, I think in my last video I talked about the KQL. So KQL concepts apply at the log analytics also. You can apply these KQL queries here. Search for any data. So we'll say if we have any data here, search asterisk. If we collected any data into the last 24 hours, so we collected my this particular laptop has started sending out the data. So this is the name of my laptop. We just configure things. So it's sending out the data. Computer. So this is the thing. So I'll not talk about the log analytics in much detail. Intention is to quickly give you the quick overview of the log analytics and then quickly jump to the Sentinel. So I will leave everything related to the log analytics and will show you why we talked about the log analytics, and we will see how we can configure the Sentinel workspace. So to configure the Sentinel, just type Azure Sentinel here. Let's choose the Azure Sentinel and then click on add button. So remember, even if you click on the add button, it's not going to create any new Azure Sentinel workspace. This is only going to do a linking with your Azure Log Analytics workspace. Sentinel, there is nothing related to the Sentinel workspace. Sentinel doesn't have any own workspace where data can be stored. It utilizes the log analytics workspace. So I will choose this one, SC200. Is the one which we recently created. So I will choose this one, SC200. So this is the workspace with which we linked up, and then this once this linking is done, we will quickly see uh, our Sentinel configuration is ready. So here we have our Sentinel configuration ready. So this is our Sentinel configuration. So right now we have not initiated any data collection or anything. What we are seeing here is the data which is coming from the log analytics workspace. So remember, the data specific to the log analytics can be viewed from the Sentinel also, and the data specific to the Sentinel can be viewed from the log analytics also. So this is how you can do the configuration. Uh, we have to set up the linking with the log analytics workspace. And once this linking is done, your Sentinel configuration will be ready. Here I talked about we have incident option, we have hunting capability. So we will talk about these all capabilities in the next video. But this is how your Sentinel looks like. From here you can get overview of your entire Sentinel, what all data you have, if you have any alert, from what all location you are getting the malicious event and everything. You can see it here. It provides you the automation options, and from here you can view the settings. You can reserve your data. Workspace setting, you can do it here. Like um, we were inside the Azure Sentinel SC200, and I went inside the settings. And even if I click on the settings here, from here we can remove our Sentinel workspace if you want to remove. But I'm sure like once you start using it, you're not gonna remove it because it's so cool and so easy to configure, and it's quite important for the SOC team. From here you can do the workspace setting. So if you click on the workspace setting, it will take you to the log analytics workspace. So yeah, that's about quick introduction about the log analytics and how you can create your Sentinel workspace. So yeah, do configure this in your lab. There will be few questions related to the Sentinel configuration. In next series, we will talk about other options. So till then, configure your log analytics workspace and link it with your Sentinel. So yeah, thanks for your time.